Great. Well, Leo, thank you for spending a little bit of time to talk about your experience here at the Sheraton New Orleans. You've been here over 40 years, which is just incredible. And I'm sure you've experienced a whole lot. But before we go there, let's talk about how it started. So, if you could help me understand how you got the job or how you got here in the first place, and what that experience was like.
Real experience. Came here in high school under a program they call Marketing Distributive Education. Well, we came in and we trained through all the different departments in the hotel and found a love for it, found a niche. I was supposed to go to the military, but the hotel had more design for me, so I stayed here.
Wow.
Moved from Marketing Distributive Education, where I was president of my class. It's about 10 or 12 of us.
Wow.
Started in housekeeping as a groundskeeper. Like, wow. I was cleaning sidewalks. I was pulled by an engineer at the time, and he's like, look, you need to be an engineer. They need more. Black engineers were not a thing in New Orleans. Like, hey, we need more black engineers, hey. And it just grew from there. Went to school, re-educated myself, moved over into engineering as a maintenance mechanic.
Okay.
Did that for like a year or two, and then finished with my schooling and got my license, and then became an engineer, which I've held for, 35 plus years or more.
Wow.
And with saying all that, I mean, I've held different departments as lead engineer, preventive maintenance mechanic, and I've moved around as in all the different roles in the engineering department, training my way up. Seen a lot happen, seen a lot change, and it's a whole different view being in engineering. So watching a hotel evolve, watching this very room we're in turn into basically a meeting space, where it was part of a dining space, where it was cafe promenade, seeing where we had a French restaurant called Saffron, turned now into Rhythms.
Right.
And the Rhythms room, they were side by side. So watching the Pelican Bar lose its gazebo, where we used to call it a bird nest. Just watching all the transformations when, because of this, thinking back of over all those times, like, wow, yeah, it was really something different over here, and it was something different over there.
Well, when you started, the Armstrong Ballroom was a swimming pool.
The Armstrong Ballroom was a swimming pool. So
was that part of your duties when you were a grounds engineer? You had to keep track of that out there too?
Actually, they kept us outside. Okay. So I did a little bit out there, just a little. Watching the fitness center go from a room no bigger than this to what it is today.
Right.
It was a very small fitness. I guess people wasn't really into fitness, so it even a thought. Armstrong had an opening roof.
Right.
That doesn't open anymore.
Right.
Remember when there was dreams of making 2 towers? Now it's still just one.
That's right. I've seen the plans for 2 towers.
You see the plans? Watching when Casino came to New Orleans, that we fought to get a riverboat. That didn't go through. Remember when the front desk was just one straight long desk, and now it's pods. I've seen the lobby shut down maybe 3 times in my entire life. 3 times. Katrina, COVID, and a couple of renovations.
Right.
Renovations changed it. In fact, they moved the front desk over to where FedEx is.
Okay, yep, and did it on that side of the
They did it on that side of the...
I remember when I got here, we moved it into a gallery for a little while.
For a little while.
Yep.
So watching the transformations go by, it's amazing, and it's different being on the engineering side, because we're always looking at how it's going to come out.
Right.
What is that going to look like? When everybody else see the I see the making of it, the demolition of it, and watching us make strides in the engineering side of it it's truly a different view. You know, people have no clue and don't even think about some of these things, but we're on that redevelopment side, and we see the redevelopment. So that's kept my life so interesting. That's why I don't even realize 40 years have passed. 40 years.
Right.
I was 17 years old when I came here.
Wow.
A student in high school. And raised a family. 3 college graduates. So proud of. I wanted to bring that photo too, but I was like, it's crazy when I look back and I'm like, man, you almost near retirement age.
Not yet. We're going to do this again for the 50th anniversary.
For the 50th anniversary, okay.
So you brought a couple of items. You said that kind of some memorabilia of your time here. So what do we have here?
I did. So again, as I said, I started out as a student.
Right.
So my first name tag.
That's great.
From NOPSI, we call it New Orleans Public Schools students, which we were at that time. I became the president of our class. My very first name badge. Do we do name badges anymore? We don't even do name badges anymore. So this is my 83.
That's great.
Which I was like, count my 83.
What's on the back?
We were owned by, at the time, ITT and MetLife.
Right. And they have
So,
John Hancock.
John Hancock.
Part of ITT.
Right.
That's great.
So I date all the way back to the ownership changes, which is so different. And I was like, I had hair. I had hair sometime I had hair. Different departments. A lot of people would not recognize me from a front desk position.
That's great.
I actually worked behind the front desk. It's like, okay.
How long was that? Was that during the rotations?
During the rotation. So
Okay.
we did a couple of weeks, and it trained us a couple of weeks, yeah.
Okay.
Gave us a gist of each department. But I was most loved in HR. I did 2 tours in HR.
Okay.
2 tours in HR. I was loved by Rue Bistro back then, Cafe Promenade. They wanted me here. There was a need for us, food and beverage, the food and beverage storeroom.
Okay. Yeah.
They would fight for me between Cafe Promenade and food and beverage. Look, we want him, we want him, we want him. So I love that piece that I made my mark with people. Of course, the world has changed, and there's only 10 of us here, right?
Right.
There's only 10 of us here still. So that's really funny. I had just a few other photos when the shuttle was coming down the river.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in the days, and
Oh, that's amazing.
some of my classmates who toured through different departments through the dining room,
With you when you were, yep, back in high school.
front desk when we had hard keys and paper folios.
Those days, yep.
The little room that is now, what do we call it now? Where to do the training at, where all the computers
Oh,
are.
the HR, oh, okay, yeah.
So that was that was our class. That's where we would hold class
you were
at.
in that room, okay.
We was in that room. We had a nurse. We had a nurse on property. Some of my classmates that toured through maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Other people that did the front desk.
That's great.
Food and beverage.
In the storeroom?
In the storeroom. In the storeroom. And just some of my teammates from being an engineer for all the years.
Oh, that's great.
So weird back when I had hair.
Fantastic memories, yeah.
It is. So
And raised your family, like you said, the kids were all successful. That's just something to be incredibly proud of. I'm sure you're proud of them.
incredible.
I'm sure they're proud of you.
They definitely had to follow my lead.
Yeah.
So, when we look around, the young people that don't want to work today, and I have 3 sons that do work today, and they're degreed. So, one is a doctor, one is a petroleum engineer, and one is a Tulane graduate in business. So, they're all doing some great things. I got a play son, he's actually an actor. So, and he's been really busy. In fact, I should have photos of him. He's in Top Gun. He's going to be in the next Mission Impossible.
That's great.
But
So as we think about, the time you've spent and what you've learned, and we have these folks that are just starting out with us now. So they're just coming on board the last couple of years. We've hired a lot of people since COVID. What advice do you have for them just starting out? And And what are the parts of the hotel they should connect with most?
I think that they should find a passion, because I had a chance to go to the different departments, and I was taught with, if you want to go up, go through the front desk. Don't stop. Don't allow things to frustrate you, because you don't have to have everything right now. But find a passion. I still, because even today we still need more engineers. So every time I run across a young man that looks like he don't have nowhere to go, I try to convince him, go to school, get your license, become an engineer. I would highly recommend engineering. I highly recommend front desk, because it's the quickest paths to moving up. But stay going to school. Stay in school, study, even if it's both technical. Stay in school. Get those lessons, keep moving forward, and don't worry about right now, because right now makes them, to me, a lot of them don't want to, they want everything right now, and it's self-destructive. So I would definitely say keep plugging, keep studying, and stay motivated.
And that'll pay off over time.
And it'll pay off over time.
Right, agreed.
It'll definitely pay off over time. The hotel is a vast business. It's like a little city in one square block.
Right.
If you don't really like engineering, go to front desk. If you don't like front desk, go to housekeeping, or go to accounting, go to sales, go to marketing. There's a whole city in one.
That's right.
Instead of trying to go to a marketing firm, you go to marketing here. You want to, instead of going to a selling cars or whatever, you sell cars here. You could.
Right.
There is a lot that you can do. Don't get caught where you are. You know, don't do that. Everything ain't for everybody. I would truly say you can grow. And there's the largest hotel chain in the world now that you can go anywhere around the world.
Right.
Anywhere around the world. I travel now. I mean, one of my most prized possessions else now is my black card.
Yep.
So
Free night everywhere in greatest hotels in the world, right? So 25 years. I'm a year away.
you're a year away. Get that black card. Because you know, I looked and finally somebody gave me a list, and like, hey, there's more properties outside the US. You can go to Europe. You can go to Australia. You can go to Africa. I mean, we're all over.
Yep.
And being with Marriott and get you 25 years and get that black card. It's a nice thing to have.
There you go. Well, thank you, Leo. Like I said, we are incredibly proud of you, and we're grateful for all you've done. You're a big part of this hotel and its success, and you've seen it through your entire life, which is just an incredible story. So thank you.
Jim.
Okay, good.